Okay, so welcome to Love Burst, day 3. Let me just share my screen with you. Okay, so today what we're discussing is releasing suppressed emotions. So, do you often, or have you ever asked yourself why you suppress your emotions, or why you would have suppressed your emotions as a child? Or where do your suppressed emotions actually go, and where do they come from when they come out and they are released? So when we're children and we come to this earth, we actually, our nature is to actually have a good time. That's what we want to do. We want to actually have a good time, right? We want to feel good. We want to have fun with our friends. We're not really, we don't really have the tools yet to process our emotions. And so sometimes when a new baby is born and, you know, this new baby has outbursts of tears, uncontrollable tears, it's because the baby is either, you know, experiencing some physical pain or is hungry or something like that. But it's also often because they're experiencing emotions for the first time, right? Like emotions like detachment. So, you know, you've got to think the baby's been in the mother's womb for 9 months, and then it's come into this world and it's placed into a crib to sleep. So the baby's going to experience some, you know, detachment, potentially some abandonment, different types of emotions of missing being so close to their mother. And so that's where it really all begins, right? So as we get older, you know, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, if things happen to us, even if they're traumatic things, we suppress that discomfort, right? We may have an emotional outburst, but then we suppress that discomfort because we want to just get back to having a good time. Yeah. And so when we suppress those emotions, they're stored in the body as pockets of emotions. So that's kind of, does that explain it well? Yeah. So now's a good time to just think for yourself here, like, what emotions have you suppressed? What pain or discomfort have you suppressed? Often a lot of us suppress grief and heartache because they're quite heavy emotions to process, guilt and shame. Yeah. So is your cup overflowing? It's just, if you're the type of person who can easily react to things, if you can easily snap like that, then it's a good idea to have a look at your emotions and your suppressed emotions and the things that you've buried deep down, because often they're the emotions that fill your cup, and they're the emotions that overflow from your cup. That's why you can get triggered and react so easily or snap so easily, right? And often it's not necessarily about the current trigger or experience. It goes much deeper than that. So let's talk about little you for a second and how this all ties into your emotions and releasing your emotions. So, Chris, you've heard me tell this story many times. Maybe I should get you to tell it. Well, actually, do you mind telling me what your understanding is of the inner child? Because you've come to all of my webinars, so you've heard me talk about it so much.
You talk about all these different doors. There's many different yous at different ages, not necessarily just the child, but that's where I found my most pain. It was on one of your meditations, connecting with little you, and I found him. I built a house on him. That little guy was mad. he was hurt and he was scared and he was mad, and I left him there all by, and I was traumatized at that age, and I don't want to get real personal, but there was a, and I thought that was it. I thought we were done, and it looped around. You talk about the cycles, it comes back around, and I think I'm doing really well. Well, then all of a sudden there's another one. And now the little guy was this, that's where the sadness, that's where the guilt and the grief is coming from. Well, I found a teenager in there, and he's mad, and he's got every damn right to be mad. And I remember why he's mad. But I repressed that, a little healthy repression. It's just, we don't talk about it. You want your ass kicked again? No. So shut up. And that's what I'm putting together with what you're teaching in my own personal experiences.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm finding little names, and I'm expecting there's some more. You know, I just discovered the other night, actually there's a 21-year-old, my first marriage. He got his heart broke, and yeah. So see, there are more. There's more than one. There's that little guy. He's sad, and there's the, you know, he feels neglected and abused, and the teenager, he got his ass kicked just for opening his mouth, and then, like I said, and then he tried to love, and he got his heart broke for it, and it's just.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And so that's exactly the way Chris described it. There's all these younger versions of us, starting from yesterday all the way back to birth, even the womb. And you know, if we haven't healed our younger selves, then they're still there. They're kind of circling around behind these closed doors, waiting for us to heal them. And they're angry and they're sad and they're heartbroken, right? And it's funny because what we do is we keep, as we get older and older, we're trying to heal all of the younger versions of ourselves, right? That have all these unresolved issues. And, you know, it's really important to understand how we got there and what happened to us so that we don't continue to repeat the damage that was done to us, so that in 10 years' time, we're not healing our current selves, right? So it's really important to release those suppressed emotions, to heal the trauma, to work through the wounds so that you can begin to move forward, making better decisions for yourself so you don't end up in those situations again where you experience the same heartbreak, right? And so this is what healing your inner child is all about. It's actually about not necessarily reliving the trauma. I don't really think we need to relive traumas to heal them, but it's rather about showing yourself deep states of love and compassion and actually honoring that younger version of you, actually going, you know what, 10, 15-year-old Chris, you have every right to be angry, like really honoring him for what he went through. But what we usually do is we usually dishonor our younger selves. We look at our younger self, our past self, and we're like, you idiot. How could you let that happen to you? You idiot. Why did you make that decision? So healing your inner child, as you know, Chris has experienced, is quite a profound, it's a profound experience that literally changes the energy in your present self. It helps you become more present, and it helps you become happier in your life today. So what does little you want from you? Even 35-year-old you and 30-year-old you. And like you said, Chris, it goes in loops. Our healing goes in loops. And sometimes we think we've healed that version of us, and then something will pop up. And even today, something popped up for me and I was like, oh, little me still has a warped perception towards certain people, right? And that comes from childhood trauma. And I'm like, okay, I've got to go back and I've got to really look at that now. And that wouldn't have come up until now, right? Because that's being reflected back to me now. So if I hadn't have done all the work and the clearing beforehand, I probably wouldn't have got to this point because I wouldn't have been ready to do that. Yeah. And like I said yesterday, unfortunately, this is a journey. It is a journey of transformation and a journey of healing, and it's going to be cycles, and it's not going to be forever, but you will get to this point on your healing journey where all of the things that used to hold you back, they don't hold you back anymore. Flashbacks from the past may come up still, but you'll be able to embrace those flashbacks with love and compassion. They won't tear you apart and you won't spiral down anymore. So your inner child really wants you to heal them. And the reason why they want you to heal them is because they want to be in the present moment with you. They're an aspect of you. They are a part of your personality, right? And when you bring them home into the present moment with you, you get to tap into that childlike essence, the one who believes in the magic in the world, who moves forward with the curiosity and excitement of a child. And that's how we need to be. At the moment, we're fragmented and we need to bring all those parts of us home, right? Because at the moment, you got to think of it. If my life is a timeline, then I have ghosts on my timeline. And those ghosts on my timeline, all they're doing is they're haunting me because they don't feel like they have a home, right? And I've never really used that analogy before, but I think it's a good one. So, because essentially when you get triggered and you react, that is a younger part of you coming through and exploding with emotions, exploding with suppressed emotions, right? So any questions so far? Okay.
May I?
Yes, please.
When I submit to the grief, I found that's when I learned it was that younger one. He was the sad one. And when it's the anger that takes over, and I've used the analogy before, it's like I'm sitting in the back seat of my own mind watching somebody else drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up, you're ruining my life again. And they won't. They just keep on. This one cries and this one's mad. But it helped a lot. Like what do they want from me? They want me to be now the man that they needed then.
Exactly.
They needed the man then, but little did we know when we were children praying for somebody to save us, it was going to be our older selves came back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head. You know, little you is you know, wanting you to be the man that he needed when he was little, you know. And you know, a lot of people talk about wanting parents' approval, wanting that person's approval or validation. And even if you got it, it wouldn't fulfill you in the way that you think it would. But when you give that to yourself, that validation and approval, it wipes out years of grief and pain and anguish and all sorts of things. So thank you for saying that, Chris, because it's really powerful. Really, really powerful. So here's a little step-by-step guide of what you can do when you get triggered, right? Because if you continue to react, pardon me, if you continue to react rather than respond, and you're just letting little you explode into anger, it's actually not doing you any good. It's not really supporting you and empowering you to become that adult, right? It's almost like little you wants you to go, hey, it's okay, buddy. You don't need to say or do anything in this moment. I got this, right? You can just chill and we'll work through your anger in a second, but we'll do that together. We don't need to involve this person. Yeah. And then that's how little you starts to trust you again, right? Because it's almost like little you feels like they need to protect the adult you. And so they keep doing that. Yeah. They keep doing that. They keep interfering and stepping in and overtaking with their emotions and their chaos. And we just let them, right? We just let them because nobody ever told us of how to regulate our emotions. So this is what you can do in those moments where you get triggered, okay? So be present with what you're feeling. Stop yourself from reacting if you can. I know sometimes it's hard not to react. And ask yourself the following questions. Why am I so triggered right now? So in the moment that you decide I'm not going to react, I'm going to go within, you've already held on to your personal power. Yeah? What is this about? Go deeper with it. Really here, we're trying to get some really deep answers from your unconscious self. Do I need to walk away from this person or situation right now? If you do, excuse yourself. Say you've got to go, hang up the phone, remove yourself from the condition, the situation, so that you can process what's going on inside of you. When was the last time I felt this way? Does it remind me of the past? Yeah, it reminds me of the way my mum used to disregard me, say, right? Or the way my mum used to force me to do things I didn't want to do, or the way my dad used to judge me, whatever it is. Why does this event, situation, or experience make me feel this way? Because I never got to be a full expression of who I was, or because I was disregarded. Yeah. So this is how you got to think about it. If you start asking yourself these questions, I promise you will get answers. Your higher self will give you the answers that you're seeking. How can I show myself love and compassion instead of judgment in this moment? Instead of beating yourself up when you get triggered and going, oh, I did it again. Even if you react, let's say you react, that's okay, because now you've got an awareness of it. Yeah. So let's say you react. What's happening in that moment? Because you're fully aware of it now, because we've had this conversation, your consciousness will split into two. One of you will continue to play it out. The other one will be observing how this is all playing out. So actually gathering information so you don't behave like that again. Yeah. So it's really important that you don't go into, I'm such an idiot, I reacted again, I've done all this work and I'm still reacting. It's just another observation. It's just another awareness to help push you towards your best version of yourself. Yeah. And how can I accept that this is how I feel right now? Because as we said yesterday, right, acceptance is the way to move forward. When you finally accept, God, I'm so angry right now. Okay, well, yeah, I have a right to be angry. Already you start shifting out of that anger. Yeah. When you accept, like I said yesterday, when you accept this is where you are at, the transformation begins. Okay. Any questions? Just having a look on Facebook. Nope. So any questions at all about suppressed emotions before we wrap up? Sometimes when we go into full-blown rage, it may be pockets of emotions coming up, not just one emotion. So I want you to keep that in mind. Sometimes it's multiple things coming up all together. That's why it feels really overwhelming. So I hope that you got something really valuable from today's webinar. If you want to talk to me further, you can contact me on Facebook Messenger under Anthea Spark. Just send me a message there. And if you're not already doing so, please come and follow me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, whichever one you prefer. And if this is where you leave us, thank you for watching today's webinar, and I hope you got something out of it. But I'm going to talk about my Healing Little You program. And if you've heard me talk about this a million times, you can leave. You don't have to sit through it. But I want to share with you my program that starts on Saturday morning, Melbourne, Australia time, which is my inner child healing program, which doesn't just help you heal your inner child. It helps to teach you how to be the empowered adult, the adult that actually knows how to communicate to your inner child so they can let you take over. So what you get in this program is you get 16 one-hour group sessions. So the program does go for 16 weeks. So it's the longest program that I've run. And it's because I feel like people really need, when it comes to the inner child, people really need that extra support and that extra time to really let things sink in. You get guided activations to help you reconnect to your inner child, an affirmation track, a workbook, a really supportive group of people to go on this journey with, that you connect with, and you actually get to practice being vulnerable with, and you learn how to communicate with each other. So it's really, really empowering. I create a Facebook group for you to watch all of the recordings and share your wins and your struggles, and to be supported in there. And you get to do all of my mini detox, emotional detox challenges throughout the program that include a lot of burning rituals. So this really helps to remove those really toxic emotions like guilt, shame, and anger, you know, there's emotions that are really, really toxic to the body. So some of the things we cover are your mindset, reconnecting to inner child, learning about how important self-love is and how to turn that all the way up. I'll teach you how to diffuse triggers. So today we touched on triggers, but there's a whole lot more that comes with that. How to use your voice and how to communicate in a mature way through really empowering language. Removing your need for validation, welcoming self-forgiveness and self-acceptance, and like I said before, releasing those really heavy emotions, learning about how important positive self-talk is constantly, right, throughout your day. So a lot of this work is, it's not, there is some of it where you sit down and you have to physically do some work, but a lot of it is continuous work throughout your day where you notice yourself having negative thoughts and you transform them, or you notice patterns that are playing out and you actively try to change them, right? And then we deprogram your childhood beliefs, and we also tap into removing suspicion. And this is if you have experienced childhood trauma, whether it's mild or severe, you would have trust issues. And what happens is when we don't trust people, we become suspicious of them, and we become suspicious of good people who are coming in to support us. And often we push away the things that we really want the most, right? So that's the 16-week program. And today I've got it priced at $7.99. And so it's going to be this offer ends, it's usually $15.99, but this offer ends on the 2nd of November. So if you are interested in doing the program, then jump on and secure your spot. If you want to talk to me about it further, you can just message me in Facebook Messenger, like I said. And if you do book today, I'm gifting the first person to book today a private 1-hour coaching session valued at $140 USD. So like I said, the program starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday. That's Melbourne, Australia time. So it'll be your Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are, if you're in America. And all the sessions will be recorded and uploaded to the Facebook group. So I'll just stop the share.